Hello, hello. Welcome to the Resellers Retreat.
Hi,
So glad y'all
everybody.
could join us. It's your two favorite people. And we have a special guest tonight. We will have Mess Hall Diggs joining us later. So make sure you tune in, stay tuned in, and he'll pop in a little while to talk about his reselling lifestyle. Um, but meanwhile, how has the week been? How's it going?
Well, honestly, when I look at let me say, I don't know what it is about this week and last week with sales. It's like one week I was killing it, the
Yep.
next day I wasn't, and then the next day I got bombarded with low ballers.
Oh my gosh, right?
Right. And I'm like, okay. I really believe that the algorithm that they talk about, I think it's real. I for sure
I do
think
too.
that, there
You
is
know what
something
though?
to it.
They said, and I don't know if anybody here has heard that, but they were saying that if you decline offers, it
Mm-hmm.
slows down like your sales. That's what they're saying. Like just ignore the offer if it's low. So I'm
I
trying
think
that the last couple of days.
I declined. I declined about two or three today.
Well, they're terrible. By the way, hi Zoe and hi Bryn and Janet. If you're watching, thank you for coming in, ladies.
Oh,
We're
hey,
talking about
everybody.
lowball offers.
Yes. You guys, how have your sales been? I mean, I know we all gripe and complain, but I was just saying, I don't know how long you guys been on here. I was just saying how I went from a killer weekend. When I say killer, I mean, for me, multiple offers back to back, back. And I mean, good offers. And I mean, I had to sit down and package about 30 items last weekend. And
Yeah, nice.
then it's like it went to one or two sales here. And then all of a sudden, I just got started getting low ballers like back to
Mhm.
back. Just I'm like, where are the good buyers? Where are these people who
Yeah.
really see the value in this?
Yeah, it's frustrating. I was really hoping with that new offer tool that they finally unrolled, it's kind of good. So it's like, what is it, 5%, 10%, and 15 or 20%? I can't remember. I
Mhm.
tried it myself to make sure it was working in my app. But it like you can hit the button and it'll send that offer, or you can make your own custom offer. That's the problem. So I'm still getting the lowball offers because people are like, I'll send a custom offer. And I really wish they would do that whole thing where they do the red and the green. Like
Mhm.
if it moves towards the red, not like they're not likely to accept your offer. It's really low, just a heads up.
Look, I think that some of
Crazy.
them it's a game. I honestly think that it's a game for so many people. And I've heard several, sellers say that they shop other
Yeah,
people's closets, and so it doesn't matter how what they put on there unless they stop them from sending them. Some people
I
are
know.
still going to send,
I
ridiculous
know.
offers.
Yeah, some people really, and like I said before, it's always I really don't. I kind of like to sidestep some people. I'm like, whatever. Maybe they don't understand how it works. But when it's other resellers, it really bothers me. And I had one like we went back and forth, and I just sent her a comment. I said, "Look, you're a reseller. You should understand. I'm not going to take below the value of this item. It's just this is my lowest offer. I give you my best offer right off the top. You can always
Exactly.
keep scrolling. You know, it was so
Exactly.
frustrating."
Oh, so she
So
said,
weird. Finally starting to get lowball offers, like really bad ones, was offered $15 for Dansko's. Oh Lord. That I had listed for $45, kept going back and forth, and she finally accepted $36.
don't be surprised if you get a low rating.
Oh, I know. That has happened to me.
Don't be
Like
surprised.
I stonewall them. I'm like, no, this is my best. You can, decline the other offer, take the one I took. And they'll go on and finally take that offer. And then they
Hmm.
give you a low rating after they get
Exactly.
the item. So funny. Have you seen they're starting to do that on Poshmark now? I've made some
Hmm.
offers on items, and when you click the offer now on Posh, it automatically popped at 10%. Oh, 15 and 20. Okay, I wasn't sure how much it was. 10, 15, 20. Okay, yeah, we were just saying that. Like maybe that would help with the lowball offers because it's such an issue, but I'm still getting them. I'm still getting them, unfortunately.
Well, I've gotten some decent offers. Oh, you guys, let me tell you about this lady. Okay, so for the most part, I accept decent offers all the time. I mean, because for what we pay, if I'm making over $20, depending on what it is, I'm happy. And
Yes.
so you guys saw my haul. You guys support me. Thank you so much. And so I had all that St. John. This lady offered to do a trade. I don't do trades. And so I told her, I just want my money. I want money. I don't want to trade. Trying to be as nice as possible. So she tells me, oh, well, it's nice. And I've bought several for less on here. So I'll just keep an eye out for it. I started to respond. But you guys, I took a moment. I stopped. And then I flagged her comment as spam.
That's good. That I've had to do that before too. It's like, I know what you're doing here. I'm not going to have that on my listing. And then other buyers come and see that kind of comment, like.
Exactly.
I've had that. I actually had that a lot on Macari last year, right in Q4, it's Christmas time. I stocked up on all my toys and new tag stuff. And I had a bunch of Squishmallows, which I wish I still had right now because they're selling for crazy amounts. But anyway, they were still popular last Christmas. So this lady's like, why, she's another reseller, by the way, but she's like, why are you asking for so much for these items? I can buy them for $20 all day long. This is highway robbery. I mean, she put this long rant on my listing and I said, okay, go buy it. End of discussion, like, why are we having this conversation? I don't want to put the energy into having this conversation with you. So bye-bye. And I did market harassment and it was erased, thankfully. But
honestly, to me, that's passive aggressiveness. Oh, I like this item, but you have it priced too high. Okay, well, make an offer, go find it somewhere else cheaper. Oh, and I'm not jinxing you. I'm gonna wipe it away. No jinxing.
No jinx.
No, they're not even going to rate.
They're gonna pass you by if they're low ballers.
Yes.
I did have one really cool experience a couple of days ago. A lady sent me a message on Facebook Marketplace. I usually will not meet people. I ship only because there's weirdos out there right now, right? And but she's a local girl, just moved here. This is a military town. We have a base here. So she had just moved here from another base and all this. So she's like, can I buy this item? Would you meet me? And I kind of, I check out her profile, make sure she's legit and all that, first. And so I said, okay, yeah, I'll meet you at a public place, So I met her at our community college and we sat there and chit chat for like 30 minutes about Disney and all this stuff because she bought a Disney item. I said, well, hey, check out my Poshmark closet. So she came back, bought a bunch of stuff in my Poshmark closet. I was like, this is awesome. Yes. So it worked out.
Right. Usually I'm normal human being.
A normal person. Yeah. Cause I'm like, no way, I'm not meeting you. I've had to say that. I've had that on Poshmark. Have y'all had that on Poshmark? Because it shows your location. That people message you and say, I'll buy this for such and such. I live in the same city. Meet me to do the sale. I had to change the city on my profile.
I don't have my city on mine.
Oh, I went in and changed mine is what I did. Cause I was like, I don't want people,
I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. And that's why when I'm in groups and things of that nature and people ask, where are you from? Like the exact location.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I love mysteries.
Yeah. Keep it refreshing.
I love crime TV.
Me too.
True stories, all of that. And yes.
Dateline.
Hey, Wendy.
Windy City Reseller. Yay.
And so no.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm too scary.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm just like so nervous because I watch Dateline. I'm like, I'm not going to meet somebody. And I've heard of people meeting up on Facebook and murders happening. So I'm like,
exactly.
I'm not going there by myself to meet anybody, but she seemed legit. So,
Right. But, I mean, sometimes you can look at their profile and look at everything and see they've bought stuff before. And I usually meet somewhere where there's a camera or a lot of people.
Yes. I wanted to ask the chat room this and you, Danny. How do you feel about going into Q4 with the inflation issue, the shipping issue? Because a lot of the retailers are saying, hey, we're getting nervous because this is our big, Q4 is big for us and we don't have a lot of product that we expected to have. And because of inflation, people are actually putting money into savings because, they're not spending as much discretionary income. So how do y'all feel about that? Like, are you stocking up or not stocking as much as you usually would?
I think Dayton Valley is Angie, right? Angie?
Angie, yes.
Yes, Angie actually.
Hey,
He will be on in a few, I
uh,
think.
he sent me a message, says he's running late, but he expects to have M&Ms and a champagne bath when he gets here. A total diva.
When he
Hello.
said that he watches Richard Pryor, I was like, he's my guy
Yep.
when he was younger.
Right.
Oh, well,
Good
I
guy.
don't know. As for going into the fourth quarter, I mean, for me, I'm just gonna do what I always do.
Yeah.
List, share, try to improve my photographs. Just do what I've always done. I mean, honestly, though,
Yeah.
I guess for me personally, it's not my full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not as stressed as I would be if I was a full-time. So is anyone in the chat full-time? And how do you guys? I would love to know how you guys feel. Because if I was full-time and that was this was my main job, I think I would be a lot more
I'd be
concerned.
a little nervous about it. Yeah,
Mhm.
right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm doing the same. I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. I'm going to watch, kind of measure how many sales I'm making a day. Do I see it going lower? But what I'm predicting is that people are going to look at sites like Poshmark, eBay, Facebook for things that they can gift, but they know they can get it cheaper by going to our platforms. So I think it might actually increase our sales because of that, because we have the
Exactly.
product here. When they go to the store, it's gone,
I'm racking up on new tags.
Me too.
That's been my
Sweaters,
strategy for the
boots.
past couple of weeks to a month. I've been racking up on sweaters, winter stuff, and
Oh yeah.
new tags.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't reselling last year, so it isn't know about this really. Oh, okay.
She
Yeah,
doesn't.
so Q4 is pretty big usually for us too. Now I've heard resellers say Q4 sucks the worst because people want to go out to the stores and go shopping for Christmas and all that and buy gifts. But that was my biggest month last year was December. I had stocked up on a bunch of new tags, anything that I could source like wholesale liquidation, get it for a good price. And it sold like crazy. But, with the inflation issue happening right now and the issue with shipping, product to our country, I'm wondering how that's going to affect sales. So we'll
I
see.
think we will feel it. Yeah, I think for sure there will be some, impact, but like we always say, you just gotta keep grinding. I mean, you just gotta keep going with it. And if your sales drop, you gotta figure out another platform or figure out,
Yeah.
some other way to
We
generate.
always figure out a way, right?
Exactly.
Always figure out a way.
For me personally, I relist and I relist higher, much higher. And then I send out crazy, crazy discounts.
Yeah. And they're
Because
like, oh, well, that's a steal.
Exactly. I'm still within the price point I wanted to make. So, and that's how I got all those sales that weekend. Actually, I had gone with no major sales, and I mean, it was dry. And so I relisted several items, and then I sent out like 40% off.
Yeah, right.
So, and
That's good. Yeah.
Some of it was pennies, but I just wanted it to move. It was still a profit because it was given to me, and I just wanted it out the door. Yes,
at that
Wendy,
point, it's like
I agree, Wendy. Yes, new with tags is where it is, or like new.
Yeah.
Or vintage or one of a kind items are also
Vintage.
really
Yeah. Vintage is a great gift idea. And I mean, so I started a couple weeks ago, I started on Shop Thrilling for all my vintage clothing because it sells so well and the profit margin's fantastic. It's like my favorite thing to sell.
What is it?
It's Shop Thrilling. People just call it Thrilling, but it's Shop Thrilling. It's just vintage clothing. And like it's almost as bad as Amazon as far as getting approved to have a store on their website. They make you go through all these hoops and everything, but I've seen people showing crazy sales on there. So I was like, okay, let me get in on that. I want to sell my vintage there. And within 2 days, I sold, I put it on my Instagram. I sold a vintage, I can't remember what brand it was. It was some designer dress that I had sitting forever on my other platforms. I sold it for $170. Got it in a ThredUp box for what, $280 a piece is what we paid for those boxes. Sold it for $170. So it's been going really well, but vintage is so big right now.
It's amazing though how just different platforms, changing different platforms can make a huge difference in your profit and what moves.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm
Mhm.
with you, Zoe. I don't order from Amazon, but I do Instacart, and it has
Mhm.
really spoiled me.
That is nice. They don't even have that here because I'm a small town, so I can't even get
What?
Amazon Fresh. No, we can get Grubhub and Uber Eats, but I'm like, everything's 5 minutes away. I might as well just drive and pick it up and drive through, you know?
Mm. Oh, Wendy says she wishes she knew more about vintage. Honestly, Wendy, so do I. But to be honest, what I do is when I'm in the stores, I feel the fabric because usually it's
Mm,
better quality. Look at
yeah,
the tags, and then I just buy it. Honestly, I go with good.
yeah.
I ain't good. If it looks, sometimes it's like if it's hideous, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's going to sell.
I know. I know. It's the things that you would like. I used to pass by those moo house coats that like my grandma would wear all the time. And people are posting all the time that they're selling them like crazy. And I'm like, okay, so I was thrifting last week, picked one up. I was like, done. Let's give it a try. I haven't listed it yet, but I'm like, I would never want who wears this?
Let's see. She says, "Hey, Grandma." Wendy asks,
Grandma's here.
how do I comp? Well, for me, Wendy, to be honest, I do my research. I do
Mhm.
Google Photos, of course, to see if I can find something similar. And then I check all those out, look at the condition of those compared to mine, and then I list higher.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, the high, and sometimes, like I say, you have to list high because if it's somebody who knows the worth of it, they will try to lowball you. And
Yep.
most times, even if it is lower than what I wanted, it's still huge profit.
Yeah.
Last year I bought a vintage black leather coat, like leather jacket. It
Mm.
was very like I guess some you would see like Harley Davidson style, like
Oh, yeah, like a motorcycle
fringe.
jacket. Mm,
With fringe and stuff. I mean, it was
mm.
beautiful, but it was vintage, and I listed that jacket for over 200, and I wasn't expecting that, but I got it.
I'm always surprised when the things sell. I'm like,
So,
wow. I mean,
and
just like
honestly,
sneakers, what people pay for sneakers is mind
oh,
blowing.
now see that's an area I would love more knowledge. I just like we talked to Marcus on our last live. If you guys didn't catch
Mhm.
it, well, you guys were there, but
Yeah.
anybody else who's watching who didn't catch that, you guys really should watch Marcus from
Mhm.
is it Dixon
Dixon's Pickens.
Pickens.
Yeah.
He
It's on
gave
our
some
last
great
live.
advice. He gave some great advice
Mhm.
about sneakers, and honestly, I look and I'm like, oh, these look so good. These look so great, and like even Adidas. I think some people say Adidas or something. Adidas.
Adidas. Yeah.
Uh, uh,
Adidas.
down here we say Adidas.
I say Adidas. That's what I grew up saying.
Right. Adidas and Stella McCartney, I was just
Mm.
blown away
Oh,
how
yeah.
it didn't really go for as much as I thought it would. I was just expecting
Really?
not the pair I found. I was really shocked
Wow.
because I was like, okay, Stella McCartney, that's designer. This
Yeah.
should really sell for a lot, but I don't know if it was the
Surprising.
size. I don't know if it was the size, the color. It's just
Yeah.
I just wish I had that knowledge, to know which if I'm looking at something that's wonderful or something that's
Yeah. Right.
because
You
I
have to sit
don't
there and
have
look
the
up comps
space.
on everything.
Yeah, I don't have the space
Mhm.
to store shoes like that.
Yeah, they take up space. I found a box of brand new sealed Pokemon cards, but it was like a supplement, and I know Pokemon's really big on eBay. It was a supplement to the game, so I was like, well, it's probably not going to go for much. It's not like the actual original game. So I look it up, and I was like, oh, I'm taking this one. So I have them listed for $550. They're going for $595 even on Amazon right now.
What is
So
this?
I undercut everybody and put them for $550. So I'm hoping someone buys them.
You said
Mhm.
Pokemon?
Pokemon, just a little card, 90 cards, but they're all sealed, never opened,
Oh,
but they're
yeah.
huge.
I do look for anything that's still sealed. Oh,
Hmm.
Grandma, I'm with you. I also look for the union label and
Yeah.
and made in US.
Made
Yes.
in the
US.
USA,
Mhm,
made in Korea is another sign. You can tell
mhm.
literally when you look at the label, you can tell it's old.
Oh,
You can tell.
yes.
Just sold an item that I had reduced for closet clear out at the buyer's request that I was holding my breath waiting for them to purchase, but they finally just did. Ooh, yeah, that
Look,
always makes me nervous too.
that's a miracle. When they actually come back and buy something that they had you hold, yes, celebrate.
Yeah, because you're like, now come and get it. I need to adopt a teenager, 20-year-old, so I know it's cool, right? Exactly.
I watch my students.
Yes. I grabbed a vintage house coat and it is getting a lot of attention. Yeah, those
That's
are
gonna make
big right
That's
now.
gonna make you some money.
They're terrible to look at, but they sell for a great amount. So, okay.
What is it? Cottage core, grandma chic, or
Cottage
whatever.
core, grandma. Yep, all that. The Gunny Sacks is really big.
Oh
That's
yeah.
huge right now.
I found one of those when I first started reselling. I probably have been reselling for like a month, and when I found one, and I just grabbed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
uh,
they're real big. They're top trending right now. With vintage, I always start higher and then reduce
mhm.
over time
Oh,
if it doesn't sell, but I don't want to sell myself short. Some vintage is worth more than you realize. That's so true. Yeah, you always do your
true,
comps and
true, true,
then
true.
you may not find that particular item because it's vintage and there aren't a lot of them, so it's the whole supply and demand thing. But you'll find something like similar and then that kind of tells
Mhm.
you how to price it. But gosh, what is the name? I got to look up this girl on Instagram. She's always posting these things that she sells on eBay that are vintage that blows my mind what she gets for these items. I
Is
got to
it
find her real quick.
I think I know who you're talking about. Hey Christina.
Hey, Christina.
Hey Maggie
Hey.
Boo. Oh, Glamour, of course. Yes. I love the soft leather um of Coach. Yes. Well, actually, I love soft leather. I try not now. When you guys see me doing videos, I love the smell of real leather, like cowhide.
Oh,
I love the smell. And I'm trying not to sniff the items that I'm showing you guys because I don't want you to think I'm strange. But I love the smell of it.
too late.
Hey, it's my truth. It was not my truth.
Right.
It's me. It's me.
Right. Oh, I cannot find this girl. What's her name? Oh my gosh. She's so can't find it. Next time I see it, I'm gonna write it
She
down
said,
so I can mention
she
it.
said, let's see, hold on.
I know. It's like Stephanie. It's Stephanie Fusion or something like that.
Hmm.
I'll mention it in my next live, but boy, she sells I can't believe what people pay for these things. I'm just blown
Oh,
away.
you guys. So honestly, if he'll let me, there used to be a shop. He went out of business when COVID hit, but he just opened up a vintage shop right around the corner from my house. His grand opening is tomorrow. So I may, if he'll let me, I might try to do a live while I'm in there or record at least, because I saw online he had a lot of vintage Dooney and Burks.
Oh wow.
Grandma, we might get some Coach.
Grandma says she's seen you sniff them. Somebody's our special guest is here. Oh boy, look out.
What's up?
Miss Hollings!
Man, hey, so we ran late as shit over there on the Fend the Hustle, man. But I mean,
You were just stalling, holding out on those M&Ms.
Yeah, he was celebrating his 10K and all that stuff. So we had to do like 3 giveaways and all that stuff, man. So
oh wow.
Yeah.
But I made it. I'm here. I was sweating. I was like, I gotta go, man. Let's wrap up. No.
Hate to cut it short.
To have you.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone that I'm late. But I'm here, man.
Glad you're here.
I'm here.
Glad you're here. So tell us, let's do some reseller talk first. So tell us about the platforms you sell on and what you primarily sell.
Yeah, eBay mostly, 100%. I started on Mercari, which is weird, but Mercari started getting kind of ghetto and like homeless people shop there for me. So I was getting tired of like the $4 free shipping offers, and I was like, all right, man, we gotta switch this thing up a little bit. So I checked out Amazon a little bit. I did some books for a little while on Amazon. I was doing okay, but then I hit the eBay scene really hard. Like, I mean, I used to be like a listing machine back when I first started. I mean, I was doing like 40 items a day when I first started, just getting everything listed. And then once I started getting better at it, like my listing started to suck. So I was like, so I got to get back to like the old grinding mess hall and get back to listing 40 items a day like I was. And I mean, I was in the military working 12-hour days and still listing 40 items.
Wow.
Oh, how long have you been selling on eBay?
So I first started like in 2013 because my wife told me I had to get rid of my baseball cards. So that's when I first started. And once I got rid of like the baseball cards that I could part with, I kind of didn't do much after that. And then after, you know, when you have kids and they start growing out of clothes and growing out of video games and video systems, and the thing that got me back into it was selling my son's old video games that he didn't play anymore. And like his Xbox, he went from Xbox to PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. And from each upgrade, that other one just kind of sits and collects dust. So instead of getting robbed at GameStop and getting like pennies on the dollar for your stuff, I was like, let me try to sell these online. And that's what started me back into it, was just like my kids, my daughters, and my old stuff we didn't really wear anymore. I was like, forget doing yard sales. Like I can make 10 times as much throwing this stuff up on eBay. And once I saw the return on that, I was like, okay, so there's definitely something here, right? Because everyone has that moment where you're like, all right, if I could sell my son's old shoes he grew out of for $25, like what else is there out there? And then so that's when I jumped on Instagram and I jumped on YouTube and I started kind of researching this reseller community in the game, and found a couple of resellers that had YouTube channels out that I really liked. And I saw, hey, they were going to thrift stores and finding stuff at thrift stores. I was like, well, I'm going to thrift stores now. And then like I give advice to everybody, stick with what you know first. I'm a sneakerhead. I've been a sneakerhead my whole life. So shoes is what I know. Yeah. Well, that was the section I always went to, was shoes. And I was able to just kind of pick it up from there. And of course, how it is, you jump into something head first. You don't really do a whole lot of research. So you're just kind of grabbing things that you recognize, and you start to figure out eventually, what your target area is and what's making you the most money. And you just kind of stick with that. But eBay is definitely my biggest money maker. I try to maintain like that 15K to 20K a 90-day number.
See, I told you, Danny.
That's the sweet spot. I stay between 15K and 20K every 90 days. And that's what eBay provides. Mercari still kind of got like a little, like they got a little like one person seating for one at the diner in my heart, you know what I'm saying? Because they did jumpstart my whole reselling journey. Yeah. And of course they just put out that they're not increasing their prices on their shipping labels.
I saw that.
So USPS is increasing prices, but Mercari is not. So that might be something I look into for Q4. But I love it, man. But I grew up in the thrift stores. I grew up in the Bay Area in California, very poor, single mom, no dad. I'm an only child. Yeah. I lived at the flea markets. I lived at thrift stores. That's how I got cultured. That's where I grew up. That's how I learned how to hustle. I tell the story all the time. I had a guy that was trying to convince me to buy used car tires at the flea market. And like, I'm 9 years old. I don't even have a car. And I'm like, man, that's a good deal though. I got to go tell my mom, we got a good deal on some used tires at the flea market. But, and then just like the culture, the food, the hustlers, the people that that was their lifestyle. That's what they did. That's how they made their money. They did the flea markets on the weekends, try to make as much money as possible. And that was their job.
Right on.
So I always kind of had that in my heart, just thrifting and flea markets and hustling. And, when you're growing up poor and you're getting made fun of because you're wearing like the Payless shoe source.
Right. Or Kmart.
2-for-1 shoes, Kmart. One to play in, one to go to school. And everybody's making fun of you because you got the Pro Wings with the Velcro. And
Pro Wings.
You just make it a point in your life. You're like, I got to get to this point where, and I got a job early. I started working when I was 13. I just swept like an auto shop, and I was washing their dirty, greasy uniforms. They were paying me $20 under the table just to do that stuff for them. And I fell in love with just making money. And that led me into the military, because I knew the military would be like an instant career. And, just since I recently retired, I did 23 years in the military. And I knew I wanted to do something that I was in charge, because I was just tired for 23 years of just taking orders and people telling me what to do for 23 years. I was just tired of having a boss. And I said, I want to be my own boss.
Right
So
on.
I teach part-time at the university, which is great because I'm the chef there. So I make the rules, I make the curriculum, I make the menu. So I'm in charge. And then with reselling, we're all the boss. We're all in charge.
Yeah.
So as much as you want to put into it, as much as you're going to get back.
True.
And
True.
the biggest advice I could give to people is you got to set a goal and you can only reach it by how much work you're willing to put into it, whether you're part-time. Because I was doing great numbers part-time, doing great numbers. So you don't have to make that leap into full-time to do big things. And then, especially people with debt, or like, for example, I just talked about on Defend the Hustle. I just spent $4,000 at Lowe's getting my dream refrigerator. I got this high-tech brand new dishwasher. I bought all these new appliances for my house because I'm a chef, I'm a cook, I want top of the line stuff. And it was all money I made selling old t-shirts and shoes. You know what I mean? I didn't touch any of my, you know what I mean? So that's what reselling can provide for people.
And that's the incentive to keep doing what you do. When you're seeing the benefits, you're reaping the benefits. Couple things. Chef, thank you for your service. Christina, thank you for your service. I saw that she said something too, that she has served. We appreciate y'all for that.
And her husband too.
And her husband. Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
Glass City, what's up?
Glass City Pickers, hello, welcome. Hey, Maggie. I hope I've seen everybody that came in.
I think we did.
I think we got them all. Everybody should have a wrench. Make sure y'all share your channels. There's no shame in this chat room.
Yes.
Right here.
I think I'm following everyone, but if not, I'll go back.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm with you, Glass City. I didn't mind Payless either, but it's different for men and women.
But see, you never know your ghetto until people start pointing it out to you.
Right.
Because growing up, I had fun, man. I was playing outside. I had a bunch of friends. I was having a good time. But then I started going to schools, especially middle school, when some of the rich kids were around and they're just looking at you and they're snobby and
you don't have gas and all this.
They're wearing the Jordan 3s that just came out and you got the Velcros on and they're looking at you and they're like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, hey, these are my school shoes. I got my play shoes I'm gonna put on later when I get home, if you want to go run some basketball or something. Test out them Jordan 3s on the court. What's up, But I mean, you just
makes you appreciate things.
As long as you have like love and food and all the things you need, you never know you're broke. You don't know you're broke until people start.
Right.
Out, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I have no complaints, man. Single mom, grew up chilling. Learned how to resource things. Learned how to hustle. I was trading. I would hustle my rich friends. I would trade them like janky Nintendo games for the good ones that they had that they didn't. I'd be like, hey, let me borrow that game and just never give it back. That kind of. That kind of hustling. Like, oh, you got the new Snake Eyes G.I. Joe? Hey, I'll trade you this broken He-Man for it. And they're like, okay, it just. That's you just learn to survive, man. That's just how it is.
Mark.
So look, Chef, I'm going to tell you that the part of the game that you just like own it right now, and that is sneaker photos. You have that. You got the corner on that one. I see his photos. I'm like, my shoes don't look like that when I take photos. I mean, he makes them look all, like you see that and you're like, I've got to have those shoes. $500. Okay. I mean, you take great photos of sneakers.
I'm going to tell you, it's a grind, man, because I know I think I did a short clip on Instagram about it, but I'm all into like, you got to clean the profits into the shoes. So I find some shoes that are just beat up, need to be brought back to life, whatever. But like, I'll throw on Cobra Kai on Netflix and I'll watch 6 episodes while I'm just scrubbing shoes and using my magic erasers and using my suede reviver and then using my leather conditioner. And, it might take me 6 hours to just get 7 pairs of shoes up to the quality where it's ready for a photo. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's where the magic happens, is like,
yeah, but not even just the shoe, like how you have it displayed.
You got to think, when I was younger growing up, like that's all I looked at was like ads and paper. And like we used to get East Bay, I used to find East Bay magazines. And you just like the way the shoes were pictured, and you're just like, okay, mom, look, because my birthday is the day after Christmas. I was born December 26th.
Ooh.
So I remember when the Bo Jackson trainers first came out, they were $100-something. I said, Mom, for my Christmas and birthday present combined, I want these Bo Jackson trainers. That's all I want. One present, both combined. And she was like, well, $100 is a lot of money. I can only spend $50. So you got to find something for 50. So I would just scour the magazines. Just, okay, what can I buy something that has a swoosh on it for $50? Let me find something. And that's what you do. Like my childhood was just looking at pictures and
I remember going through eBay.
I remember the ads, because back in the day, I grew up in the 80s. And that's all we had was JCPenney ads or Sears ads or Eastbay or whatever. And the pictures were just like, I gotta have these. Or you see the commercials, athletes doing the commercials, or I watched sports growing up. And I'll never forget the Bo Jackson commercial when he's wearing the shoes and Bo knows and all that stuff. And like, that's what my earliest memory of like the shoe I had to have was that Bo Jackson trainer, and just the way they looked in the commercial, the way
so like the photos and all that really.
Yeah. So all that's just kind of like ingrained in your brain. Like, so now that I sell shoes, I want to kind of give that same perception to somebody that's like, because you've looked through eBay postings, you've seen stuff. Some people just don't. They'll just throw it anywhere and just snap a couple photos. Yep. And I am a believer that if you have a quality shoe that's in good condition and someone's looking for it, the picture doesn't really matter that much. I just sold like a Thule, those big things you put on top of your car when you're moving or you're taking a trip. It's like that waterproof bag you put all your luggage in on top of your car. Yeah. So this thing was so big, it's like a canvas bag. Like I threw that thing down on my kitchen floor because that's where I had the most space, right? It was at night, so I couldn't put it outside on my driveway or nothing. So I just threw it down on the kitchen floor, and I took pictures of it on my kitchen floor. You could see my tiles in the background, and that thing sold immediately. So it's the picture, the canvas, the background doesn't really matter as long as you have a really good quality item that's in demand. But shoes is my heart and soul, so I always take the most time making sure that picture's just like you said. When you see that, you're like, oh man, I gotta have those.
Yeah, I mean, when I see it, I'm like, he's got the market cornered on photos for shoes. I've never seen shoes look so appealing.
I just checked them out on Instagram. They do look great. They look professional.
Oh, it's just about like I said in the beginning, it's your business. How do you want to present your product to the world? Because we are all small business owners, sort of, Yeah. We all sell goods. We all have an online marketplace that people will come buy goods from us. So how do you want to present that? So that's big time to me, is like, I want to present it the best that I can. You could throw a little artistic twist in there if you want to. But just take time it's your business, your name's on it. My eBay store says Mess Hall Digs. My Instagram says Mess Hall Digs. My YouTube says Mess Hall Digs. So someone could put all that together and be like, all right, let me see what this guy is really about. He talks all this shit on YouTube. Let me check out this guy's janky ass eBay store. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, he's pretty good. It all ties in together, right? So for example, if I'm watching one of your guys' YouTube videos, I'm like, let me see what they're selling on eBay. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, these people are legit. Now, if you have something that has like some 70s curtains in the background, with dog hair on your carpet and the photos all dimly lit, I'm gonna be like, I ain't watching that shit no more, man. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So it all matters, man. It's your business. It matters.
It's so true.
And Amazon is easier because there's stock photos usually available for stuff for you on Amazon. Macari, no one gives a shit because homeless people shop there. Poshmark. I think Poshmark, they get out of control, because now it's fall. So they got their pumpkin spice latte with their pumpkin and their flowers. Like, you can't even tell what the hell they're selling, man. Like, what's for sale? Is it the pumpkin?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Look, that's right there. Is it the flower?
What are you selling? You selling
the vase? Like, what are you selling? Like,
because they'll have like one thing. Look, when I first started reselling, I started on Macari too. And then I went to Poshmark, and Poshmark was hopping. So I was like, let me focus on Poshmark. But when I got on there, I saw how people were taking their photos. Like, so they would have like a bathing suit. You got the beach towel rolled up over here, the sunglasses, sunblock. It's all in the photo. I'm like, I don't think I can compete with these people. They ain't playing. But then I realized quickly, just take a good photo of the item. It'll sell. You don't need to go through all that. This is not,
Yeah, I saw a
top
post.
Model.
I saw a post on Instagram. I think it was Just Likes Pizza. I love Just Likes Pizza because she just talks all kinds of crap. And she was talking about the white fur rug. She's like, if you've never had a white fur rug in your Poshmark photos, are you really Poshmarking? And I was just dying because it's true. Like all these photos,
all time.
The rug with the vase and the wheat growing out of the vase and the apples and there's this thing. And I'm like, what the hell's for sale in this picture, man?
What am I buying?
I've heard people say that. They say that it's confusing and it just distracts. It takes away from the actual item.
Yeah, it's just too much to me. It's too fussy. Okay, so Mess Hall, look. So if somebody, and I want to say hi to, I saw Alicia came in, Buffalo Pickers here, Veronica's here. Hey, everybody. So if somebody's just moving into eBay, they just want to start reselling on there, what would you tell them is a good item to pick up when they're thrifting to sell on eBay?
Well, obviously my answer would be shoes, man. Shoes are the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
They're the most profit margins for me. I get my most profit margins from shoes. Definitely.
Me too.
Same.
Hard goods is a big one. A lot of people live and die by hard goods. For example, I picked up was a TI-80 plus calculator for like $3.99. Those are going for like $70. I picked up a GameCube controller, just a controller. I picked that up cheap. I sold it just recently for $40. DVD, VCR players. You gotta be careful though, because I made a huge mistake when I first started with hard goods stuff. I put up a VCR DVD combo player on auction, right? I was like, let's see what these auctions are all about.
Yeah.
Because I'm a dummy. I just jump into things and do zero research. I make all my decisions based on zero research. That's how I ride, dude.
That's awesome.
So I threw this thing up on auction, free shipping, started at 99 cents. Let's see what happens. So it sold for $15 on auction.
Didn't go how you wanted it.
I'm not a janky reseller. I'm not the kind of guy that just pulls it down or cancels the deal. Like, hey, if you got it, you got it, man. It's my mistake. So I paid like $6.99 for the item. It sold for $15. It cost me $17 to ship it.
Oh my God.
I was waiting for that shipping cost. I was like,
I lost.
That will get you.
So I lost $5 in the deal, and I'm like, okay, we got to figure this thing out, man. We can't be.
But you learned from it.
You bought a lesson. That's what my mother calls buying a lesson. You bought a lesson. It's all.
Yeah, man. Because
you'll never forget it.
Yeah, I used to play. I used to play poker, right? So my first dream when I got out of the Army was to be a professional poker player, win the World Series of Poker. So me and my boy, we would go to Atlantic City all the time. We go to Vegas all the time. And I was getting really good, man. I was always like, I never had less than $5,000 in my pocket. Like I was rolling. I was just hustling. And then there'd be nights where like I would lose $800 gambling. And I would say, hey, I learned a lot though. I spent $800, but I learned a lot. Like I learned what not to do. I learned what, it was a great experience. Yeah. And then eBay, I kind of treated the same way at first. It was like, I was grabbing things. I'm like, Old Navy. I bag on Old Navy all the time because Old Navy screwed me early on. So I would just be thumbing through shirts and I'd be like, there'd be an Old Navy t-shirt with Darth Vader on it. I'm like, people love Star Wars, man. I'm grabbing this thing, $25, man. I'm putting it up for sale. And it would be up for sale for like 3 years, and then no one would ever buy it. And then I end up selling it in like my Mess Hall Digs yearly yard sale for like 50 cents. And so you got to learn that lesson too. Like when I was growing up, you remember Nautica? Nautica was the shit growing up.
In the 90s.
I was scooping all Nautica, everything that I saw. And Nautica don't sell for shit ever on eBay. So,
but it's good though.
But those are the lessons that I could have avoided if I just did a little bit of homework. But because I think, I'm like, I can sell anything to anybody. I could sell salt to a slug, like Cassidy used to say. I'm going to make this work. And then you start getting knocked down off your pedestal. And you're like, okay, let me start doing some more homework now.
Yeah.
And then I started listening. I'll tell you, I learned the most from female resellers. That's where I learned the most from, because they have like the brand, like they give me brands I've never heard of. Like when I watch your guys is like Jomar and all this, I'm like, what the hell is a Jomar and all this thing? And but that's when I learned about like Lululemon and antiques, and I didn't know like old toe jam stained up Birkenstock still. So, like these are things I learned from women. I'm like, man, this is great information. And so that just made the game just bigger and just expanded my knowledge of everything.
Yeah.
Like pink Victoria's Secrets. Like I knew my daughters would buy that stuff. I didn't think it had resale value. But there was a
So
time.
you sell clothing too then?
Oh, I do. I sell clothing for sure. I love vintage t-shirts if I can find them. I love hoodies and jackets. Like Q4 is my favorite season because I love hoodies and jackets. They sell so good. I love hunting gear because October, November is when hunting season, deer hunting and turkey hunting and all that stuff comes out. Dude, I kill hunting gear, man, like camouflage jackets and overalls and all that kind of stuff, man. It makes a killing during Q4. So for sure, I love clothes. I don't do too much in hard goods anymore because it's just kind of harder to find, and I don't want to dig through, because we had a guest on Defend the Hustle that just makes a killing doing CDs. Like I can't do that.
Wow.
Like,
I would never think that.
I can't thumb through, like, because he does a lot of like bulk buys and like, okay, I'm gonna buy 1,000 CDs for 4 cents. Okay, yeah, maybe I could see making money that way. But when you're at the thrift store and Goodwill wants $2.99 for a CD and it's selling for $5, like, I'm falling asleep on that. I don't even want nothing to do with that stuff.
Yeah.
And then as you grow as a reseller, you have to start getting pickier, right? So one of my favorite quotes that I live by now when I'm in the thrift store is you have to say no to good. Only say yes to great. And
that's a good phrase.
I use that motto in the thrift store. I'm like, yeah, this is a good item. I could probably make $10 off of it, but it's not a great item. So I'm going to leave it alone. Right. And then just only pick up those things that are going to make you $20+. You have to make it worth your time because we all hate listing. We all hate taking pictures.
Yes.
And because I'm so snobby, I clean the hell out of my shoes. I clean all the clothes that I get. I at least steam them to kill the germs. I have spray. Like I do my due diligence as a reseller selling used things. I want to make sure it's clean. I want to make sure there's no hairs on it. I want to make sure there's no armpit stains. I want to make sure the customer is going to get something they're oh, wow, this is a great item, right?
Yeah.
They'll never be able to know it was used. That's my thing. I want them to think, wow, these look barely worn, but they're 12-year-old tennis shoes. That's what I'm shooting for. So if you're going to put all that time and effort in to do that, and then take the pictures and then store it in your garage or your closet or wherever you're storing it, and make the listing look good and spend time with the titles, and then you want to make all that worth your time. Is your time a $5 profit really worth doing all of that? It's not really worth it to me. So now I'm getting
because we get paid for our time too when we make a sale. Exactly. That's the time we're putting
my gas money going around town, and like you got and stopping off at McDonald's getting me a cheeseburger and
right on.
All that stuff has to kind of make it worth that time.
That all goes into the sale price.
Exactly.
It's all in there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Buffalo Picker. I appreciate you.
And also, I'm kind of like you. I've been very selective about what I buy, but mine is because of space. I don't have the space to store anything a lot anymore.
Yeah, I was checking out. I think Bearded Thrift Machine did a video. That's one of my boys. We always talk shit to each other back and forth. But he has a unit now, a storage unit. So his process is really appealing to me because he brings in all the haul that he has for the day. He brings it into his garage, and he just divides it out. So he divides it out, cleans it, pictures, And then stuff that's just kind of going to take up too much space, he puts in a storage unit, which is like a mile from his house. And I have a storage facility a mile from my house too. So I'm kind of thinking about maybe moving a lot of my bigger inventory, because I have I have a snowboard, I have a lot of golf clubs. Golf clubs take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
You know, my bigger items, just kind of move them into a facility and then keep just my shoes.
I just did that same thing. I actually have two storage units.
Okay,
I
we
have
hear
two
about it.
storage units because I live in an apartment, 3-bedroom apartment. I'm like outgrowing this with all my inventory. So I said, okay, I'm in the process of moving all my hard goods there. So that way I still have an inventory system where I can go find it, but like it's a 5-minute drive from my house, so I can just go pick it up, because it's just taking up too much space, you know, and it's like,
right. So yeah, maybe that's something you could look into, Danny, just getting kind of a small unit somewhere.
Yeah.
Just for your bigger
I have one.
You do have one?
She's got one too.
I put my coats in. I have one.
Okay.
I work, and by the time I get off, it's kind of late. Well, it's late in the evening, and I just don't always want to go get my inventory out once it sells. So I have my winter stuff in my coats in storage.
Yeah, because they're big and bulky.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the issue that I have is, so my wife started reselling recently too, because
cool.
You know, that's just how it works. When she sees her husband has just like boxes and boxes and boxes of brand new Jordans coming every week, right? And I'm just pulling out cash money to pay for my brand new refrigerator and my brand new dishwasher, and she's like, "Where's all this money coming from?" Like, you know, all them old shoes I be grabbing at Goodwill, just paid for our new refrigerator or whatever. And then we took a vacation to Florida, right? We stayed in the 5-star resort on the beach. We rented a boat. I'm out there driving the boat like you know, Jay-Z, and she's my Beyonce. And we're just like, I'm the captain. What's up? You know, we're having a good time out on the sea. All that came from just reselling old t-shirts and shoes.
Yeah, it's
so
amazing.
Finally that clicked, and she's like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yeah, let me get in on this.
I need to get a piece of
pie.
this. I need to get a piece of this action. What's going on?
Yeah.
Right.
I always say, I don't know why everybody isn't doing it.
Exactly. So now she's got inventory. So her inventory and my inventory are in my garage.
Oh, wow.
And it's starting to get to be like, I don't want it, because, you know, it could take over your life real easy, you know, because shopping's the funnest part. And I love to shop. I've always, because when you grow up ghetto and poor like me and you finally got money, I'm going shopping, baby. We're going to make up for all that shit we went through when we were kids, right? So,
right? Okay,
so
now,
my death pile. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm rambling. Go ahead.
Oh, it's all right.
Yes, ma'am.
I gotta ask you a question. So tell me about some of the 90s era brands, because I always see you selling like Coogee, and I don't know if you sell Jenko, but I know you sell some of the older brands and you make a lot of money, like really good flips on those brands. Because I think a lot of people don't know about those vintage 90s brands that are selling really well right now.
Right. So vintage is probably the easiest thing for me to spot, because we grew up in that era, right? I grew up. Right. I don't want to give my age too much. I just turned. Yeah, I didn't. I just turned 27 years old. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I grew up in the 80s and 90s, right? I went to high school. I graduated high school in 96. So 80s and 90s, I know because, you know, just being in the game, and then, you know, having a lot of girlfriends, because you know how your boy just, who can't love this face? Killing it. So they made me hip to all like the brands, and like the grunge era came and went, but before that it was like the Z Cavaricci.
Oh, yes.
And then you had the Jinko jeans, you know, all the stoner dudes that listen to Marilyn Manson wear Jinko jeans. And then the Vans and the leather jackets, and then the members only jackets. You remember the members only jackets?
Yeah, that was like 80s, late 80s.
Yeah, because like remember Mouth from the Goonies? He wore a members only jacket. So that started kind of that craze.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy Hilfiger was huge. Polo was huge. Guess was huge. You remember the old Guess?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you can find like multicolored, horizontal lined, multi-pattern, it was all about colors, fronts and backs. And especially like the bands from those days. Like I have a TLC shirt that I found that's from the 90s. the old movies from that era, like the original Jurassic Park, when that came out, I had a T-shirt that I found from the original Jurassic Park movie. I sold that for $90. I paid
Oh,
$1
wow.
for it. So definitely the bands from the 80s and 90s, the movies from the 80s and 90s, and then just the popular. You gotta do some research. 90s are about big colors and standing out and like airbrush and all that kind of stuff. Girls wearing biker shorts and all that kind of thing, right? So just and you remember, what my favorite shoes was British Knights. You remember British Knights?
Yes, BKs.
Those came out in like the mid to late 80s. Was British Knights.
I forgot about those.
Yeah, but now they're not really worth a whole lot. You can find them cheap now. They kind of fell off. But like old starter jackets, I made a killing on old sports starter jackets. If you can find
the track
I still have mine.
The jacket.
It looks like a bomber jacket, and it's got.
I still have my coat.
Yeah.
Let me go dig it out my mama's closet.
Vintage hats. So I love selling hats too because they're easy to store.
They're so easy.
I can put like 100 hats in one of my bins out there. I sold a lot of vintage hats. People it's nostalgia, man. It's even for me, like when I find it, like seriously, like my heart stops, man. I'm like, oh my God. Like you get so excited. You're like a kid again. You remember it. I remember this shit.
I remember. But look, do you remember?
I didn't have a stereo in my first car. I had the boombox in my car.
Oh yeah, the loud bass. But look, this is a test for you, Chef. Look, do you remember United Colors of Benetton?
I have.
You did not live in the 90s if you don't know it.
I have one of those.
Colors. I don't remember.
I have some of that in my my money pile.
Do you? Oh, that's so vintage. That was huge in the 90s, and you don't really see it anymore. It was like a big mall brand.
I remember Cross Colors, but
Cross Colors.
Yeah,
I bet that sells for a lot.
Yeah, Cross Colors, vintage Cross Colors is awesome. You know what I haven't found that I've been searching for, and I know I'm going to find it one day. You remember Hypercolor when Hypercolor came out? Yep. Like you could touch somebody, and then the warmth of your hand would change the color of the shirt.
Oh yeah,
you don't remember that? And they got banned from school because guys are rolling up doing this shit, and it would change the color of your shirt. So you'd have a blue shirt on, you put a handprint on it, it would change pink. So you could do this and just walk around with like handprints, pink handprints on your shirts. I'm like, Hypercolor was the shit back in the day. It was like advanced technology for the 90s, man.
Yeah, it was really high tech.
Coogee sells okay. It's certain things. Coogee sweaters for sure. If you can find
I want one. I want to find one of those.
Definitely. Because B.I.G., Notorious B.I.G. made those famous. I have a million, like me personally, I have a bunch of pairs of Coogee jeans that I personally wear. It's just certain things, certain patches and colorways. You got to be kind of careful.
Yeah, like the more embroidery and colors, the better.
Yeah, the more craziness that's going on with something, that's what's gonna sell. Like if you find a pair of Coogee pants that have like 50 patches on them and embroidered and one colored legs different than the other leg.
Oh yeah,
that's the one you want to pick up.
Oh yeah, I made some big sales with that brand. And then what was I going to say? Oh yeah, old vintage Tommy, like Tommy Hilfiger. Like if it says the logo really loud,
yes,
that's big.
And overalls. So vintage Tommy overalls. So yes. I did a video a long time ago where I go to Plato's Closet a lot because I catch them slipping all the time. Because they got 16-year-olds back there trying to check prices on stuff. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So I found a pair of vintage Tommy overalls in there for $14, and I sold them for like $130 on eBay.
Wow,
they were slipping that day,
dude. Definitely vintage Tommy over. And I just sold a pair of Converse. I found a pair of Converse in there for $45. I just sold them for $140. So,
I saw that sale. I was like, nice.
Yeah, man. I catch them slipping all the time. It's one of my honey spots, man. I go in there all the time.
Think about it. They're just making minimum wage. They don't care.
They don't care. They're not doing that like in-depth research like we would do on something. They just see it and they just like, here you go, boom. All right, $14. Like that McDonald's shirt that I sold for over $100. It was $12 at Plato's Closet.
Oh wow. Veronica says she's got Benetton too. What was the sister company? Sicily. I don't know about that one. Very European. Yes, very European. Have a great weekend, Glass City Pickers. And I loved
Glass City.
that Purple Rain t-shirt.
Dude,
saw
so
that
can I tell my
tonight.
Purple Rain? I think I told my Purple Rain story before.
Oh, I love
so if you're
that's one of my. We got to move on. Look, we got to move on to some random questions because.
All right, fine. So the
You
first
know
time
what's coming.
Grandma had a question.
Oh,
Move down one more. Grandma
here it is.
had a question.
Yes, cross colors
Okay.
sells if it's vintage cross colors. It has to be
Yeah.
vintage though, early 90s cross colors. Yes.
Like it has to look like color block. Yeah. Okay, so here's our random questions for you. Let me find them. Hold on. If you could change something about yourself, what would it be?
Man, I'd love to be 21 again. I tell you that.
Woo, I know.
Right now.
Look.
I would love to be
with my
21
knowledge.
again.
With my knowledge.
There,
Yes.
now
my
that's
knowledge.
important, Danny. You're right.
Definitely, yeah. I would love to go back because
I'd be rich.
just the way we were raised and the way we were brought up, our generation and the generation now, and I feel kind of bad because it's partly my fault because I've raised kids in this generation because I have a daughter that's 21. But I mean, she's good to go. She's just like me though. She's gonna be all right. But just going back and then, like you said, if I had the knowledge I have now and being 21 again, like I think I could take over the world, man. I really do. At 21 years old.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you think about it, though, think about all the knowledge that we have when we try so hard to tell the younger people. Yeah. And they just, if I had someone to tell me the stuff that I know now, I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anyone to tell me.
People would tell me stuff, and I'm like, whatever, old people. I know everything.
I mean, I'm a first generation college student, so I kind of made it on my I'm not on my own. I had support. I had support, but they only could help me so much. So I've learned a lot on my own. So I try to teach my students, stuff that I've learned, just so don't make the same mistakes. Go invest your money. Go make you can go on YouTube and become famous and make money.
I'm gonna tell you, I have a buddy that owns a food truck, and he said, I'll pay. I told my daughter this. She's 16. He said, I'll give your daughter $60 to just work the register for 4 hours on a food truck. And under the table, no questions asked. I'll hand her $60. She works the register for 4 hours, and that's it. I'll do the dishes. I'll do everything else. She's just got to work the register for me. And I said, when do you need it for? She's like, it's going to be a Saturday night. And the first words out of her mouth were, Saturday night? But I got plans on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Priorities.
These kids.
I was like, what plans are better than making $60 doing this shit on a food truck, man? Like, whatever.
I had no weekends. I started my first job at KFC at age 15. I had no weekends. I worked every weekend. But we spoil our kids in this generation. They don't. My daughter the same way. She's like, huh?
Yeah. I ain't giving up my Saturday night for no money.
Yeah.
Like, man, okay. That's
yeah.
I was sweeping up oil on Saturdays for $20, man. Like, you gonna make $60 running a register? Yeah.
Okay, here's one for you. I think I know where you're going to answer on this one. Prince or Michael Jackson?
Oh,
Michael
man.
Jackson.
You gotta choose one.
Give me that, man. You can't do that to me, man. You can't because they both hit me at different times in my life, man. So early on, it was definitely Prince because my mom took me to see Purple Rain when it opened. And I think I was 8 years old when Purple Rain came out. And it's the first time I saw boobies. It's the first time I fell in love with music. Music became my life when I saw that movie. Because at 8 years old, you just don't really know what the hell's going on anyway.
Yeah, right.
But and I fell in love more than Prince. I fell in love with Morris Day, man. Morris Day was my dude. I have a Morris Day t-shirt.
I love Morris Day.
Swag and the confidence and just the shit talking. Like Morris Day was my dude. I was like, I wanted to be Morris Day.
Right. We was all doing the bird.
But then later on, like Michael hit me different because I started, I had a little breakdancing crew. We used to do like birthday parties and get down. And then I would enter like dance contests at the Sadie Hawkins and shit, like doing my thing. And if they put on a Michael Jackson song, it was over, man. It was over. I owned the night if Michael Jackson came on. But so it's kind of a hard question, man, because I love both of them equally.
Yeah.
But
I would have to go. It's a hard one.
I would have to go with Michael Jackson because I mean he's the king. And,
he's the king of pop.
And I think every single CD, album, record that came out, I owned every single one. Every time something came out, I had to go get it. Like I used to wait in line at Warehouse Records when the new Michael shit came out. I would wait. We all did.
Look who's here, your boy.
Oh, what up,
Bobby
B? What's up, man? I should still dance, man. I gotta take like my hip formula before I do all that now, man.
I know you got some popping moves or something now.
I try, man. I try. I do it to embarrass my daughters, especially like if they bring a new boyfriend over. I'm in there just getting it in. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Michael for sure, because he's the only. Him and MC Hammer were like the only two artists I would wait in a long ass line to get their new shit when it came out. I'm
telling you. Grandma says that the time is still doing the bird. I love the bird.
Dude, I'm telling you, I wanted to be Morris Day, man. I was like, I'm Morris Day.
Look, I saw Purple Rain 2 was the first movie I saw in the theaters. I was 9 years old, aging myself. And I was like, what is this? This is how I really understood good songwriting when I saw Purple Rain, because he wrote everything. But I wanted to be in the Apollonia gang. Okay. Group, I was like, what?
Yep.
I want to be Apollonia. Y'all are like, who the hell's Apollonia?
Yep. It's funny because I had someone that worked for me. Her name was Apollonia. And I was like, your name's Apollonia? She's like, yeah, my name's Apollonia. I was like, so your dad's a big Prince fan. She's like, how do you know that? I'm like, trust me. I know the name. I know the name. I know where your name came from. All right. But yeah.
Baba Ren said, I remember this conversation. We talked like for a half hour about this topic.
Just on Purple Rain, man. Yep.
That's a tough one, but I have to go with MJ too, because he is the king of pop. There will never, ever be another MJ. You could argue the same for Prince, but there will never be genius music.
But I think Prince's Super Bowl performance is probably still number one. But you heard Dre and Eminem, they're going to be this year.
Yes.
Dre and Eminem. Did you see that?
Yes, I will be watching the Super Bowl.
Excited, man. That's like the old folk Super
I'm not a music person.
Oh, I've got it. That's going to be legend. That's going to be legend to see them
I'm not a music person.
Okay, but let's see if you know this next question, Danny. Okay, Mariah or Whitney?
Whitney.
Fucking Whitney all day. No hesitation.
All day.
Whitney, man.
I like Mariah. Don't get me wrong.
Dude, Whitney.
Yeah, I do too.
Whitney, I can listen to her on repeat. Entire album.
Genius.
Whitney all day. All day.
Musician.
Tina, you know I love to sing Whitney. That's my shower song.
Oh, that's right.
If I had to do karaoke, it would be Whitney.
Oh, look, we've got some disturbance in the chat room that does not.
They're saying Mariah. That's because Bobby B's young. He don't know nothing about.
That's true. He doesn't.
The younger generation would probably say Mariah, but no, Whitney. Just because Mariah had all those Christmas albums and shit. That's what.
Yeah, they're big. They're big.
What they remember. They remember mom playing Mariah during Christmas. That's what it was. But Whitney, man, Whitney was more beautiful than Mariah too, in my opinion. Whitney was.
She just had lungs, though. She had
beautiful,
lungs.
Man. Whitney was.
Nobody can sing like that.
Her national anthem could be played as music. I mean,
yeah,
the national anthem. I mean, shit. Come on. Whitney all day. Papa Ren's go to bed, man.
He said, nah. Okay. Macho Man Randy Savage or Hulk Hogan? Which one
already
you
know.
Choose?
You already know. Where's my hat?
He's looking for his hat right now.
Wait, he has a hat?
Hold on. Can you see?
I've had too much drink.
There you go. There's
it.
my answer right there.
You have a hat, so yes.
You got to do the intro. That's
Dude,
all I want to hear you say.
Are you serious?
Man. Yes.
Dude, I'll tell you, I'll show you the best thing ever. I think I did a splice of it on a video I did. But this dude had like a little coffee creamer. You know the little coffee creamers like you get at Cracker Barrel or whatever to put in your coffee, the little cracker creamers?
Yeah.
Coffee creamers, right? And he's got this coffee creamer. He's like, oh yeah. The cream rises to the top. And then he puts it on top of his head. And I'm just, it was the greatest ever, man.
He was the greatest. Look, we all know wrestling. It was hard for me, but I learned that wrestling was not real. And when I accepted that, I understood these are the greatest entertainers of all time. But he was a legend. Like,
legendary.
Okay, also the Undertaker. The Undertaker was legendary because he was creepy.
Yeah, I like the Undertaker.
Yeah, a lot of people like him.
Yes. Undertaker is, I mean, for him to wrestle for that long, shoot, man, that speaks for itself.
Yep.
See, now you guys are speaking people I know.
Savage. Yes, wrestling. Yes. I hate my iPad.
Oh, see?
Finally, you agree on that one. Randy Savage.
Randy. Yeah, he's always, he was the
Okay,
man.
I'm going to take y'all to some culture here, okay? Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Everybody's seen it. If you haven't, you really need to watch it. Samuel L. Jackson or John Travolta?
In that movie?
Yes. Which is the better actor or best performance?
It's gotta be Sam Jackson, man, just for the whole say what one more time, motherfucker. Just that scene alone, like was my husband and I was like,
let's count how many times he says MF in that movie. How many times?
I mean, that movie did just kind of revive John Travolta's career, though. I mean,
it did.
It revived his career. But that scene, I mean, you can't beat that scene right there, man.
You cannot. You can't. Oh, it's the best movie ever.
But and then he said my girlfriend's a vegetarian, which pretty much makes me a vegetarian too. I was like, yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, your boy Bobby B says no way. John carries so many branches of the story. That's a hard choice. It's a hard choice.
He was good, but because of that scene that sticks out, my favorite scene of the movie was performed by Mr. Samuel L. Jackson. I have to give it to him.
But you know what? I do really love the dance scene when he's there with the guys.
Yeah, but that's like that's a softball for him. I mean, John Travolta's a dancer, you know, like.
That's true.
Oh, John Travolta's dancing in a movie. Wow, give him the Oscar. No.
But he was so cool how he did it. He's just got that cool factor, you know, like I don't know. I love that part of the movie.
No, I like the guy, the drug dealer, man, that sticks the needle in what's her name's chest, man. That was a good performance.
Oh no. Did you was it Ving Rhames in that one?
Yeah, Ving Rhames was in there. Bruce Willis was in it.
Didn't he die though? Ving Rhames? I think he died recently.
Oh yeah. And no, that was that Ving Rhames or was that
no.
The Green Mile?
The Green Mile.
Yeah.
That's right. He was a good.
You know what's crazy?
Michael
J.
Duncan.
I bet you didn't know. Did you know this? So you know the drug dealer guy with the long hair. I forget his name. But he had the crazy girlfriend.
Yep.
And he's the one that stuck the needle in her chest. That guy. He was the guy that played the dude in Mask. You remember the movie Mask with Cher? Yeah. The guy with the disformed
face? Yeah, he's the redhead.
Yeah, he's the actor that played the dude in Mask.
Yep. Yeah, but they did a lot of prosthetics. I remember that movie. I was a little kid. Okay, what was the last movie you went to and what did you think of it?
Ooh, man, we saw Fun Guy, the Ryan Reynolds one where he's stuck in the computer. Yeah.
Was
awesome,
it good?
Man. Awesome movie. It was way better than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be kind of dumb.
I thought so too, yeah.
It was great. I loved it. Fun Guy.
I've been watching I just started, but I haven't had time to finish because I work
Eric Stoltz,
5,000 hours a day.
Eric Stoltz. There you go.
Eric Stoltz is his name.
Yeah.
But I've been watching the one that just came out, the Sopranos prequel.
Yes.
Tony Soprano.
Yeah. Is that that comes out? Well, Carnage came out too, right?
Carnage. The Venom came out, but the Tony Soprano came out today. I already started watching on HBO. You know how they do it early.
Well, I heard that Squid Games on Netflix. I heard that's like
everybody's saying that's good.
Wait, what is that?
Squid Games?
It's called Squid Games on Netflix. I think it's a foreign. It's in foreign. Like
It
you got to read
is.
the subtitles. But everyone's saying, dude, you got to watch it, man. It's like the best show ever made.
That's
So,
what everybody said. I gotta check it
I
out.
gotta check that out too.
Carrie's here, sister's here. Bobby V, you better not leave.
The Saints of Newark.
Oh, he just saw. That's the one I was talking about, the Sopranos one.
Oh, that's the Sopranos one.
It's really good already. Starting out, I can't wait to finish it tonight sometime. But it's gonna be a good one. I love the Sopranos. Okay, so next question. What is wait. If you had to sing at karaoke tonight, what's the song you're gonna choose?
The Humpty Dance, man. Digital Underground. All right, stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin the image in the style that you used to. I look funny, but yo, I'm making money, see? So yo, world, hope you're ready for me. Now gather round. I'm the new fool in town, and my sound stays down by the underground. Definitely. That's my go-to karaoke always.
That's the jam. That's a good one. That's a good one.
And it was funny because I did it one time. We were, I think I was in Virginia, and we were. First of all, we partied at a gay club first. That's where we started.
Right on.
Best club I've ever been to in my life.
Right, the best.
And so then we hooked up with a bunch of gay and lesbian folks, and we all went to karaoke together. So it was a great night. And I did it. We were in Richmond, Virginia, and I did the Humpty Dance. After one or two beers, did the Humpty Dance, and then so the guy grabs the mic for me, and he's like, "Oh, so we got a white boy that can rap. Okay, you want to do another song?" I was like, "No, I'm good, man. I'm good." But yeah, that was epic night in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, I bet. Were you doing the dance too? The Humpty Dance that goes with it?
Of course.
You can't have the song without the dance. Yeah. Have to
of course,
do
I
both.
went to the side like my leg was broken, shaking and twitching, kind of like I was smoking. Yeah, you gotta do the whole thing.
Okay,
I'm with you, Grandma. Grandma says gay clubs are lit. Yes.
Let me
Dude,
tell you what I did.
I had a great time, man. I had a great time,
The
and then
best.
I had a dance off. I had a dance off with the gentleman in there, and I fucking destroyed his ass. I destroyed him. And so like I owned the club after that.
But this is where you're missing out if you haven't done this. I went to New York City a couple years ago. We went to a drag queen show. Yep. Best thing I ever did. It was awesome.
I'm telling you, man, it's a great time. And I'm so thankful and blessed that I grew up where I grew up in the culture, and my mom made sure I was very cultured. I loved everyone. I loved all races, all genders, all walks of life. Of course, growing up in the Bay Area, right by San Francisco. So it's just, I can never understand people that discriminate. I can't ever get into that group and understand what the thing is. Everyone loves to have a good time. It's a universal fucking language to laugh and have a good time. And so just party with everybody, man. That's the secret. Party with everybody, and there will be no issues, man.
To me, it's all about what do we have in common as a human race. That's what we need to connect on, what we have in common. Like you said, we all want to be happy and have a good time, and have a little drink.
Said she has to go sub to you, Miss Hall. She said she really likes you.
Oh, good.
Well, I appreciate it. It's you and 3 other people, so
that's not true. And if you're watching this later, the link to Mess Hall's channel is in the comment section, so make sure you
go sub, you guys.
Out.
I'm enjoying. I mean, of course, that's Tina is the one who mentioned you to me, but I'm really loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I think the key. So here's the key to the YouTube thing, right? So everyone says, "Hey, as long as I help one person, I'm happy." Well, that's bullshit. Everyone knows that. Of course, you want to help somebody, but you also need to do it. You need to do it for yourself. If you notice, like my videos is kind of whatever I feel like talking about. I do a video on. I don't try to do like everyone wants to see me go yard selling, or everyone wants to see that. Like it's whatever I feel like talking about is what I make a video about, because it's my video. I'm the creator. It's my art, so to speak. It's my outlet. And I want to do this. I want to talk about this today, and I'm going to put it out there, and hopefully people like it. If they don't, oh well. You know, if I get to 10,000 subscribers, cool. If I don't, cool.
Yeah.
You know, my kids love it. They say, Dad, we love watching your videos. That's what it's about, man, really. And of course, we all want to get monetized. We all want to make, you know, it's all about hustling and making money. That's what we do this thing for. So, of course, adding that to your income would be great to start getting checks from YouTube.
Sure.
But if you never get there, it's just, you never get there. But the key is, like, you at least got to say, well, I tried. I did YouTube. I put out videos. I never made it, whatever.
But you could say I did it how I wanted to.
I had a good time. I did it on my terms.
I've met so many people. Right? I've met Tina. I've met so many people, and I've learned so much.
And that's the key, man. The best thing about me going on YouTube was the networking.
Yes.
That's how I met Buffalo. That's how I met Glass City. That's how I met Bearded Thrift Machine. I met all of them doing YouTube and social media.
Yeah.
And that just helped me grow my business. So for that aspect, it's worth just starting just because of the people you're going to meet doing it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy Mess Hall. When I first started watching your channel, I liked how authentic you were and you're always real, which I love other resellers like that. And you have a great knowledge. You're willing to share it. But I also like, Danny and I were talking about this before we started filming today, that you also have an inspirational message that you'll like put out a video just to motivate people. And I appreciate that because some days I click on it, I'm working, I'm hustling hard, and I hear it and I'm like, I needed to hear that today. You know, so that it really touches people in the right way. And I think it's something we need more of.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's important, man, because especially, you know, growing up the way I grew up, going through the shit in the military, which wasn't easy sometimes. It was hard. Personal things that I've gone through, tragedies that I've gone through. Like, you have to understand that there are always going to be people that have it worse than you. And there are certain people that look to others for motivation. Like when I was in the military and shit was going bad and things were hitting the fan, everyone would look to you because you're the leader. They look to you like, what do we do? You know, some people can lead, some people can follow. And you have to create content that works for everyone. Like maybe they need motivation. Maybe they need someone else to just kind of give them that spark. And I'm that way too in some ways. Like I was feeling kind of down. And I went to that event that I talked about on my last YouTube video. I went to this event where it was all small business owners. And when I was talking to the guy that owned the brewery and just listening to his story, I'm like, what the fuck am I complaining about, man? Like
that was an inspirational story.
I find I'm making good money. Reselling is just a bonus. Like this guy had nothing and he made it. You know what I mean? So that kind of like recharged my batteries. I was like, all right, what am I complaining about? Like this guy made it. He was willing to live at the restaurant. He was willing to live in a tent. He didn't care. Like I'm nowhere close to that level ever. And I'm complaining because I only had 3 sales today. You know, it's just, it kind of puts everything back
into perspective.
Yeah, exactly. So I think people need to hear that kind of thing. And I see it a lot because there was a couple of Facebook groups that I just had to get away from because it was just nothing but negativity. But negativity. I've only sold 4 items this week. I'm quitting. All my shit's for sale. I can't do this. I'm going back. Like all it was complaining, man. And I'm like, yeah, I can't.
But what about when a new reseller will come? I left 2 Facebook groups because a new reseller. They put on there, hey, you guys, I'm new to this. I'm so excited and all this stuff. You know, what about this and that? Should I do this? Should I package it this way? Should I ship it? And I mean, they attack her butt. What are you thinking? Why would you do that? And I'm like, dude, it's a new person asking for help. Y'all
someone would say like, hey, you need to do the research. Like you need to do your own research. Don't bring that into this chat. And I'm like, dude, that's what the chat's for, man, for people to ask questions, dude. So
miserable.
Yeah, exactly. This one girl was like, I just want to ask, where do y'all mainly source? Where's your favorite place to source from? That is not a weird question.
It's not.
At least 20 people minimum responded, oh, I'm not going to tell you where I get my stuff so you can go get it there. And I'm like, dude, we all live in different places.
I know.
That's what I was like, unsubscribe. I don't want to be part of this.
Yeah, I had
Well,
to get
I
away
watch
more.
sometimes because it's entertaining. Sometimes it's entertaining.
It
Plus,
really,
honestly, sometimes I stay just to help those people. I don't comment a lot, but sometimes if I feel like a person's being attacked,
yeah.
I will comment and say something nice.
Because that's sad to me, you know, like you don't see that as much on YouTube and Instagram.
No,
You
it's
know,
Facebook.
that community is not like that, but Facebook's like, whoa, okay.
There are some
Yeah, and
groups.
you have to think like some people that takes a lot of courage just for them to put themselves out there like that,
Yeah.
ask a question. That takes a lot of courage, man, because I do it. But see, me, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll ask, they say that dumb question shit ends in high school. Well, I don't agree with that. I ask dumb questions all the time. But
Yeah.
but you have to just not care. As long as you find the answer, it doesn't care. Who cares the backlash or the comment? No one gives a shit, man. Just
Yep.
Somebody will answer. Someone will be kind enough.
yeah, and then you're never gonna meet these people. They're it's just
Right.
have the courage. That's why I always say find a couple resellers, YouTube channels that seem like cool people. Hit them up on Instagram. If they hit you back and they seem pretty straight up and they're real, like just grab onto their coattails, man, and see what they got going on, because that's what I did. I found a couple really cool resellers that allowed me to kind of ride their coattails for a while till I figured things out. And that's what you have to do, man.
Yep.
You're first starting out.
Yeah, right on. Okay, I have one more question. I know, Danny, you might have some questions too, but I got to
Oh,
ask you this
he
one.
answered every. I had a list. He answered every question.
Oh, good. Okay,
He
well,
did.
look. Okay, Mess Hall, you got a celebrity crush, whoever that might be, and they're coming for dinner. What are you going to make them? What's your best dish?
I like this one.
He's like, oh, well,
Now, this is the first question he's been stomped on.
I know, right?
This is a
I
good
should have
one.
gave him the questions ahead of time.
Well, I'll tell you this. So my celebrity crush has been the same since she came out, and that's Pink, the singer Pink.
I like Pink.
Yeah.
She's been my celebrity crush for probably 20 years now. And the fact that she married someone that kind of looks like me upset me even more. But so
close.
my go-to dish is fried chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy, all homemade, everything, of course. And then I really love asparagus. And then my signature dessert is cheesecake, and I make it with a red wine strawberry sauce for it.
What?
That's nothing like you've ever had. You can't really put your feet. It tastes like you could taste strawberry, but it's like something you've never had. And you know how wine and cheese just pair really well together anyway.
Yeah.
So when I put the red wine with the strawberries and make the sauce for it, it's just like, well, I don't know if I can say this on your YouTube channel.
Of course, you can say anything.
I call it the panty dropper. That's the name of the dessert. It's called the panty dropper. That's the dessert name. There, I said it. Sorry. Earmuffs.
I got a new name for it. How about you call it the game changer? Huh? That's not a little more PC.
No, I like my name.
Like,
better.
no, it can't be that. Okay, well, I mean, that sounds like a lovely dessert. Now, here's my question about the fried chicken. Do you use buttermilk, your own homemade buttermilk, in the coating, like when you coat it?
In the coating itself, no. I marinate it in buttermilk. Marinate the chicken 24 hours in buttermilk.
Right on.
And then I season my flour, and then I use so I use the triple dip method. I use eggs, right? So you dip it in flour first.
Yep.
The key is after you marinate it, you have to dry the chicken off really good and make sure it's really dry. Dip it in flour, dip it in egg, dip it back in flour. Then you fry it for like 5 minutes. Then you take it out, let it cool, and then you fry it again until it's done. So it's like a double
that sounds
fried,
lovely.
Super crispy
good
chicken.
and crispy.
He's gonna be like, "Let's get married."
You're right, yeah. And then I make I make a really nice gravy with mashed potatoes because
you gotta have gravy. If there ain't no gravy, I'm not coming to dinner. You gotta have gravy. Yes.
And then asparagus is my favorite vegetable. So I always put
Mustard
asparagus.
tomatoes, I hope.
I've done it. I've done it with hollandaise sauce. I've done it with all kinds of different things. So
I'm talking about my own dish. I'm like, okay, blistered tomatoes, but a little balsamic glaze on the asparagus.
balsamic works, hollandaise works. I like using hollandaise sauce because it's like a skilled sauce to make. It's hard to make.
That's true.
Balsamic makes everything taste better.
Yes.
I like balsamic on pizza, man. That's my go-to.
Ooh, yeah.
Balsamic on pizza, man.
Well, Grandma has a map to my heart, chicken and dumplings. Chicken and dumplings. If you can make some good homemade chicken and dumplings.
I can make that too. I mean, I can make anything, but if I was going to impress Pink, it's hard. It's hard to make good fried chicken, man.
Yeah.
There's not too many. There's not too many restaurants out there that I've been impressed.
That's a fact. Okay, chicken thigh or chicken breast?
Thigh and leg, man.
I would say leg. I like legs better.
The juicy.
No, you serve the thigh with the leg, and then you can prop it up so it has height on the plate. And your puree, and you plate it all nice with the gravy drizzle around everything.
Look at him.
He's gonna get
it
away from her
Let me
husband.
go check out your Instagram.
I'll tell you what tops it off, right? So I make this honey glaze and I drizzle it over the fried chicken and then put some fresh thyme in there. I'm telling you.
Ooh, you're hurting me. You're hurting me right now. Fried chicken, my favorite thing in the world.
I like catfish.
Ooh, yeah, some good fried catfish.
I do a good catfish too now.
Some people will not eat catfish though.
Oh yeah.
Like, and then chicken Alfredo. Chicken Alfredo is another one that.
Oh yeah.
With I make my own pasta, homemade pasta.
Wow. See, not everybody
Alfredo
has a good Alfredo sauce though.
Homemade Alfredo sauce.
Uh-huh.
With the fresh Parmesan. Yeah.
Yes.
What's the St. Louis thing they're talking about?
My new promotion, I've heard I might be traveling to St. Louis somewhat frequently. I work for Central Trust Bank. Heard them. Oh, because Grandma's going to make some lasagna.
Oh,
she's like, we'll come to St. Louis and I'm going to make you some lasagna. Hit me up if you're in the area.
Okay. Yeah, lasagna is a good one too, but I don't know. I think soul food just hits everyone, man. You know, that soul food, maybe like homemade mac and cheese, or it just hits different, man.
I'm down like homemade mac and cheese. I'm in the South, so you know.
You know how it is, man. It's just soul food just hits different, man.
Yes.
Oh no, Grandma does not eat catfish.
No, because you haven't had fried catfish. That's why.
Now here's my question: so barbecue sauce, vinegar or KC style or Texas?
It depends, man.
I gotta have vinegar in mine. I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah, I love vinegar. Anything vinegar.
So do I.
I'm a fan of like the Carolina style with the mustard too. But I make this Jamaican jerk barbecue sauce that is just like, it's nothing like you've ever had, man. With the Caribbean flavors and the pineapple juice and it's something different, man. That's becoming my favorite go-to barbecue sauce.
That sounds really good.
Look, Carrie knows.
Oh Lord, sweet potato pie. See, Grandma just flossing now. That's my favorite pie in the world, sweet potato pie. Anything with sweet potatoes.
I'm a pecan or pecan, however you want to say it. Look, you got something about food. I'm hungry.
Right?
Okay. I didn't bring my snack tonight.
I'm hungry.
And that's why I'm talking about cooking.
I have too much of this.
I'm going over to his page looking for his meals.
Right?
Yeah, so Bryn says she's North Carolina vinegar based for sure.
Vinegar based. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes just mixing vinegar, just mix vinegar and like Texas Pete's hot sauce together. You know, that's good enough to put like on a pork sandwich or something.
Oh yeah.
Spicy.
When I was in North Carolina, their barbecue was so different to me. I went to one of their hole in the wall places. That's where I like to eat, hole in the wall places.
Definitely.
And, I'm used to like pulled pork, like you get a piece of bread with it, you know. So they just.
Yeah, I was stationed at Fort Bragg for 8 years, so I know all about North Carolina. North Carolina is like my second home.
Oh, I love it there. My sister lives in Raleigh, and it was beautiful. I was like, okay, I was thinking when I retire, moving to Florida, but now I'm like, I don't know. Raleigh was gorgeous. It was awesome.
Yeah, Raleigh, Cary's really nice too. Cary's a really nice area.
Yeah.
But Fayetteville's a little,
Yeah. So does
Grandma.
anybody have a question before we close?
Look,
Post your
Grandma and I
question.
are we're both looking at DoorDash, Grandma.
DoorDash.
Well, it
It's
has been
rough.
wonderful, Miss Hall. You answered as you were talking, I was like, that was one of my questions. Wait, that was one of my, you hit them all. So I have
Well,
learned.
there you go. You got a job
always looking
opportunity.
for hood cooks, man. Hey, I'll come I'll set up in front of the warehouse, Buffalo. I'll next time you do your big warehouse clearance sale.
No, he meant good cooks. Good cooks.
Hey,
I like hood
I was like,
cooks.
I'm your
I was
guy.
saying,
You need a hood cook.
If you need a hood cook, I can do that one.
I'm the guy if you need a hood cook.
the best hole in the walls, bad country, best cooking. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
If he
I'm
wants
telling you,
hood
the gas
cooks, I can
station-
make hamburger helper like you ain't never had. I can make a cornbread casserole you ain't never had.
Gas
But
station.
I
gas
wouldn't say
station
good
food is my
cook.
favorite food, man. Gas
You said
station
catfish
food.
and what?
No,
What'd you
gas
say?
station. Gas
Oh.
station food.
Yes.
Like I was in Louisiana and we went to this
Oh.
gas station, man, and it was like crawfish and boudin and it
Ooh,
was
I
like
love
the best
I
eating
love
ever.
Louisiana.
that's
I mean,
the best
I'm-
eating you're
I'm
ever
a
gonna have,
Mississippi.
Louisiana.
So honestly, it doesn't matter where you go in Louisiana, the food is good. I have
Yep.
up to this point I've never visited and not, been stuffed. And you get a lot
Yeah.
you get a bang for your buck. You get a lot of food for a small amount.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
cheap and it's good.
Mhm.
The best thing I had in Louisiana was alligator cheesecake.
Really?
So good.
Oh, I need that recipe. That sounds awesome.
It's only one restaurant. I think it's Jock's. It's one little hole in the wall restaurant. It's in a neighborhood. You have to find it. Because I always ask people when I go somewhere, tell me where to go eat that's not a tourist spot, And they said, oh, you got to go there. They make this alligator cheesecake and it's savory. It's not sweet, Oh,
Right.
it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah,
It's
I can make beignets. I've mastered beignets. And then there's famous coffee shop down there. They sell a coffee that has chicory in it. And that's
Oh, you're talking about Dumont.
is it Dumont's that has
Cafe Dumont.
yeah, they do the beignets, right? But they
Mhm.
also
And
have
that
this
chicory coffee.
with the chicory in it. Yeah, that's really good, man.
Oh,
That's terrible, Grandma. She got really sick on gas station food. Well, Miss
boudin.
Hall, you
Oh,
need
she
to
had the
try
boudin.
You
The
should try
sausage
the,
balls.
find the recipe for the alligator. Was it cheesecake?
Alligator cheesecake, man.
Yeah,
I gotta
find
try
the
that
recipe.
now.
I want to see the pictures on Instagram.
Oh, it was so good. I think I have the pictures still. So good. Oh, yeah, you gotta be careful with that because it's pork. It's the boudin is sausage, so
Yeah.
the sausage cheese balls.
Ugh.
But I can't wait to go back to New Orleans when things get a little bit more normal.
Look, maybe we can meet up. That's my place.
We should go there. Go to Bourbon
Yes.
Street.
Yeah. Well, no.
Ooh.
French Quarter. I don't do Bourbon Street.
Oh, but that's in French Quarter, isn't it?
Mhm.
Ain't no one in the chat got a question for your boy.
Best food.
Early Eagle get the snakes.
Snakes.
That's right. Thank
Yeah,
you,
buddy.
Buffalo Picker, for coming by.
Go get them Barbies that we put out. We put out a bolo on the show.
Yeah,
for
I
Barbie.
saw that. I'm like,
them
let me get
Barbies
on Walmart real quick.
Mhm.
I love Barbies. Well, thank you everybody for watching the chat. We appreciate you all so much. And if you're watching this later, don't forget to subscribe to your boy, Miss Hall Diggs. You will not be sorry. We'll
Thank
talk
you
to
for
y'all
joining us.
later.